Hi everyone and Assalamu alaikum, greeting of Islam. I hope you're all doing well. We missed again yesterday. Anyway, was again fixing the battery of the computer. Nevertheless, we continue. We reached verse number 87 of Al-Baqarah. So we continue reading and explaining together. So number 87, verse in Arabic. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ وَقَفَّيْنَا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ بِالرُّسُلِ. And we gave Musa the law and sent the messengers after him. Well, it's obvious that Moses was chosen as a prophet from God to the Israelite, and after him as well, more messengers to come, and so on. وآتينا عيسى ابن مريم البينات وأيدناه بروح القدس, and we gave Isa, son of Maryam, clear evidence and strengthened him with the spirit of the holiness, actually. After Moses, of course, a period of time, came Jesus, Isa, son of Mary, with clear evidence, clear message, and was supported by the spirit of holiness, that is Archangel Gabriel. أفكلما جاءكم رسول بما لا تهوى أنفسكم استكبرتم ففريقا كذبتم وفريقا تقتلون. Is it not that whenever there came to you a messenger with what your souls desired not, you were proud, and some you rejected and some you killed? This is an indication of how they used to, the Israelites used to reject the message of their messenger, the message of God, how they even killed some of them, like we know they killed John and Zechariah. So it's kind of a blame that why every time we send you a message you either kill or you deny or reject something like this. وَقَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ. Their reason was, our hearts is covered, which means we don't understand or we don't want to understand the message. بَلْ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِكُفْرِهِمْ. And they say our hearts are covered, okay? بَلْ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِكُفْرِهِمْ. But the truth is, God has cursed them for their denial. The reality is that God, let's say, spilled upon them some kind of a wrath, if I may say, because of the denial of the message and the messenger and all this stuff. فَقَلِيلًا مَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. For little do they believe. Actually, they were not enthusiastic to believe in the message of God or in any messenger for that reason. وَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ كِتَابٌ مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ مُصَدِّقٌ لِمَا مَعَهُمْ وَكَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلُ يَسْتَفْتِحُونَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ مَا عَرَفُوا كَفَرُوا بِهِ فَلَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. Now this is a very important verse, and I'll explain to you why after we read it in English. The translation of this verse goes like this: and when there came to them, to the Israelite, when there came to them a decree from God confirming what was with them, and they before sought victory over those who were indifferent to warning, then when there came to them what they recognized, they denied it. But the curse of God is upon those who spurn guidance while claiming virtue. I'm going to explain this meaningful verse. Actually, the elite of the Israelite, they used to have knowledge of what's in the Bible and what's kind of predictions of future prophets to come and so on. So when that confirmation of their knowledge came in with Muhammad, this is what it means. The verse came in with Muhammad and the Quran. Although before they were, showing off by stating their knowledge of all this. Okay, now that the information came to them that some messenger will come, and came, and the message came, which is Quran and Muhammad said, they denied this. They denied this, although they knew it's coming. They knew it is. I'm gonna tell you why they deny it in a minute after I finish this. So at the end, God is cursing them because they didn't believe what they should believe. Now, the reason why they did not believe, as it's obvious from the Quran and from the understanding of the verses, that really they were expecting someone like Muhammad, but they were not expecting someone from what they call the illiterate. They called the Arab illiterate because they didn't have knowledge, they didn't have a book. So they were expecting that big event of the newcomer of messenger and message will be from amongst them, an Israelite. So when it was not an Israelite, it was an Arab, Muhammad, and so on. So they denied it, and they rejected it. So this is the main reason. We carry on. بئس ما اشتروا به أنفسهم أن يكفروا بما أنزل الله بغيا. Evil is that for which they sold themselves by denying what God sent down through sectarian zealotry. So it means they changed the truth in a way as if they sold the truth for little pieces of of money or something, which means for a cheap price. They gave up on the truth for a cheap price because, as I said, the Prophet was not from amongst them. Muhammad, that is, and the message, the big message. So, بئس ما اشتروا, which means it's a bad thing that they sold the truth for a cheap price. أن ينزل الله من فضله على من يشاء من عباده فباءوا بغضب على غضب وللكافرين عذاب مهين. So it was a bad thing they did, that God should send down of his bounty upon whom he wills of his servants, so they incurred wrath upon wrath. And for those who spurn guidance while claiming virtue is a humiliating punishment. So it's a continuing of the beginning of the verse, that is, they were against the idea that God did not choose one of them to be the messenger. Okay, so they were angry because of this, and because of that, God is going to punish them because they disobey. Actually, well, they knew it, and when it came, they denied it. So God will punish them. This is what the verse means, after all. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ قَالُوا نُؤْمِنُ بِمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْنَا وَيَكْفُرُونَ بِمَا وَرَاءَهُ وَهُوَ الْحَقُّ مُصَدِّقًا لَهُمْ لِمَا مَعَهُمْ قل فلم تقتلون أنبياء الله من قبل إن كنتم مؤمنين. The translation. And when it is said to them, believe in what God has sent down, they say, we believe in what was sent down to us. And they deny what is beyond it. When it is the truth, confirming what is with them, say thou, why then killed you the prophets of God before, if you be believers? Now, the story of the verse is, if ever you ask them to believe in what God has sent, they say, oh, we believe what we have. We believe in what we have, which is their father, whatever their fathers had before them in that sense. And whatever other than that, they will deny. Okay? Even though it is the truth, which means the message of Muhammad is the truth, the Quran is the truth. They knew it and they don't believe in it because we said why? Because their alibi is, oh, we believe in what we already have, in the sense that was what was sent down to us or to our father. Well, in the fact, what was sent to them and to their father is, after 600 years, was corrupted in one way, and then it was kind of to be completed by the message of Muhammad. This is in brief the whole thing. So God is asking them in this verse. So I mean, why then you killed some prophets? If you do believe, if you have believed in them, like you say, we believe in what we have. The prophets that you killed, why you killed them? Like, as I said, John, Yahya, that is, and Zachariah. Again, وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ مُوسَى بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ ثُمَّ اتَّخَذْتُمُ الْعِجْلَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ وَأَنْتُمْ ظَالِمُونَ. وَإِذْ أَخَذْ. Okay, so even after that, besides Zachariah and John, as well, Musa had came you with clear evidence. Moses came to you with clear evidence. That is the 10 Commandments, as we know. Then while he was away, you took up the calf, and you were wrongdoers. And while he left to meet his God, you started worshipping the calf. So what kind of what kind of wrongdoing is this? How can you say that we believe in what we already have, or something like this? And whatever you have, it's either from the message of Moses or another prophet like Zachariah or like John, that is Yahya. Which means they have tricks to get away with their wrongdoing. That's what God is showing us. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ وَاسْمَعُوا قَالُوا سَمِعْنَا وَعَصَيْنَا وَأُشْرِبُوا فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الْعِجْلَ بِكُفْرِهِمْ قُلْ بِئْسَ مَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ بِهِ إِيمَانُكُمْ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. And when we took your agreement and raised the mount above you, hold fast what we give you and listen. They said, we hear and we oppose. And they were filled with drinking the calf in their hearts by their denial. Say thou, evil is what your faith enjoins upon you if you be believers. Another note, continuing this kind of attitude of theirs, that is, remember, God is kind of telling them, remember when we agreed and you agreed that you will worship only me, only God, that is, and then when we raised the mountain, the Torah mountain that is above you, to give you some shade, and we ask you to take whatever is good and best for you, and to listen to what we tell you and so on. And you said, okay, we listen, but we don't obey. We deny. Understand? Because when they start worshiping the calf, they were lost somehow, as if they're seeing nothing but the calf. Okay? So God said to them, whatever you enjoined with this kind of worship of the calf is so evil and so bad. If you call this believe, I mean, if you are real believer, you wouldn't do that. That's what it means. قل إن كانت لكم الدار الآخرة عند الله خالصة من دون الناس فتمنوا الموت إن كنتم صادقين. Say thou, if the abode of the hereafter with God be for you to the exclusion of mankind, then wish for death if you be truthful. Now they had conviction that that they will be saved in heaven nevertheless, because we are the chosen people of God and blah, blah, blah. This is what they used to think. So God is telling them, if that's what you think, so why don't you wish that you die right now? Okay? If you're really honest about that, wish that you die right now and then you will be saved. Which means it's nothing like this. It's nothing like they think or they believe. وَلَنْ يَتَمَنَّوْهُ أَبَدًا بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالظَّالِمِينَ. And never will they wish for it because of what their hands have sent before them. And God knows the wrongdoers. Which means they will never wish to die. This is a human nature somehow, but to the Israelite, they were too much hanging on living, even even to a certain late age, they were too much hanging on that. So God is telling them they will never wish to die, even though they say or pretend that they will be saved in paradise. They will not. And God is all-knowing about this and all-knowing about whoever, about the wrongdoers. ولا تجدنهم أحرص الناس على حياة ومن الذين أشركوا يود أحدهم لو يعمر 1000 سنة وما هو بمزحزحه من العذاب أن يعمر والله بصير بما يعملون. Now this is an explanatory verse as well in that sense. As I said, they love to live longer, they don't wish to die, and so on. I'll read the translation. And thou wilt find them the greediest of men for life, the greediest of men for life. And among those who ascribe a partnership, one of them would love to be given the span of 1,000 years, but it would not remove him from the punishment were he to be given the span. And God sees what they do. I'll explain. So we agreed that they have that nature that they don't wish to die. They, on the contrary, they want to live longer. Okay, and you will see that in their way of life, in their behavior, in their caring of things and of themselves, that they want to live longer and longer. Like those who don't believe at all, those who associate partnership with God, that is, believer, non-believer, and those who associate partnership, which means they think or they believe or they pretend there is one or two or more God besides God, Allah. So those and some of the Israelites, they wish if they can live for 1,000 years. Okay? This is how much they are attached and attracted, and they live, and they love to live. Sorry, they love to live. Now, although, I mean, even if they're gonna live that long, that doesn't mean that they will be saved from punishment, or they will escape punishment, or they will be, or the punishment kind of gonna be forgotten and they will be forgiven. Not at all. This is their punishment that's gonna be implemented on them whenever comes the time. And God is watching them in a sense. قل من كان عدوا لجبريل فإنه منزله على قلبك بإذن الله مصدقا لما بين يديه وهدى وبشرى للمؤمنين. The translation say thou whoso is an enemy to Jibreel, and it is who brings it down upon thy heart by God's leave, confirming what is within its scope, and as guidance and glad tidings for the believers. So it's kind of information that whoever does not believe or who consider Gabriel an enemy, okay, whoever considers that Gabriel an enemy, although Gabriel he came down with the message on your heart, talking to Muhammad right now, okay, musaddiqan, confirming whatever he sent before, like Torah and Injil, the Bible, Old and New Testament, the Gospels, and so on. At least the right or correct information in them. The Quran came down. Jibreel came down with the Quran, confirming the truth that is in the Bible and in the Gospels, which means not the corrupted things included in them. The non-corrupted things, whatever came down then as the correct text from the Bible or from the Gospel, it confirms the Quran. But if we see some difference now, and we will see some, and we are seeing some, that means that is because the Bible and the Gospels were corrupted, in a sense, as we say in the verses before, how they changed some verses for a cheap price, just to suit them better. Okay, so whatever Gabriel came down with from God, it was guidance and it was glad tidings to the believers. من كان عدوا لله وملائكته ورسله وجبريل وميكال فإن الله عدو للكافرين. As a conclusion to this idea of Gabriel as the archangel, and whatever he brought is confirmed to previous message. So God is concluding to say, I'm going to read the translation. Whoso is an enemy to God and his angels and his messengers and Jibril and Mikael, God is an enemy to those who spurn guidance while claiming virtue. So whoever is the enemy of Gabriel, the archangel, the famous archangel, and to Mikael, another angel comes after Gabriel, and the messengers. Whoever is enemy to all those is an enemy to God as well. Okay? That's why God say, if you are enemy to all these people, then God is your enemy, and God is the enemy of those who pretend believing and then they practice disbelief, and so on. We're gonna stop here, and no, I think we're gonna read one more verse. ولقد أنزلنا إليك آيات بينات وما يكفر بها إلا الفاسقون. It's part of the conclusion as well after all this. And we have sent down to thee clear proofs, and only the only perfidious deny them. Which means we already sent you, talking to the Israelite now, we already sent you signs and verses so clear, nobody denies it, but wrongdoer or those who insist on denying for no reason, which means by no virtue, by just like that, lightly, in the sense, lightly. Okay, so we stop here at verse 99, and I hope that it was clear enough, good enough, and that you enjoyed it and you understood it. It's not complicated, actually. Rereading it is very recommended. Even rereading it, attentively and slowly, and you will see it's beautiful verses, words of God, and it only falls in your mind and in your heart peacefully. I appreciate your listening. Thank you for that, and see you tomorrow, inshallah.